Hey everyone, it's been a long time since I've done a video, but I want to call out some friends, family, and fence sitters now. But before I do that, a big shout out to the Rise Up Durham team. This group came out about a year ago, and now they're putting Durham on the map. Like they're doing some really incredible initiatives, and I'm very proud of them and glad to be part of what they're doing. So happy that they're close friends of mine now and standing up for all of your freedoms. And as our freedoms continue to be stripped away, our silent majority is just sitting silent. Like, if you know something is wrong, it's time to stand up. Like, we're at the point now where people are getting denied entry to basic and essential services. One of our friends yesterday was arrested for simply having a coffee in a Tim Hortons, and he was very polite. You can see the video that he had. Sitting politely at a table, reading the Bible, and because he wouldn't disclose his medical status, which is his right and our right, he was arrested and fined. Now that fine won't hold up in court, and that's what we need to know. Like we need to fight for this right now because what's going to happen is it's going to it's going to get linked. This Vax Pass is going to get linked to a digital currency. We're not going to have cash anymore. That's why you see these stores. If you haven't figured it out yet, they're saying cash is dirty. It's going to transmit disease, right? But we're still using paper products and cardboard boxes, giving receipts, all this other crap. But they want to exclude money, even coins. We have coin shortages. All of a sudden, COVID is creating a coin shortage. If you haven't figured out that they're trying to get rid of cash to go to a digital currency, and I'm not talking about your debit card or your credit card. This is going to be an entirely new currency, and it's going to wipe out everything you have saved up right now. It's going to be converted to a digital format that's going to get linked to a digital vaccine passport. And then anyone that doesn't agree with the government's decision to do something will be cut off from their resources. Your money will get stripped away. You'll be locked out of it, just like they're doing in China, like a social credit system, where if you don't behave, you're going to get check marks or tick marks against you, strikes, and then they're going to limit your access to cash or where you can and cannot go. And soon it's going to be you can't get into grocery stores. They're going to limit your food and even things like gasoline. You won't be able to tap your card and get gas anymore unless you have a vaccine passport. So if we don't stand up and educate the businesses and let these businesses know that they're acting legally when they're supporting these government policies, the policy cannot overrule a law, the Bill of Rights. So we can give the businesses one strike, right? If they're ignorant of the law, we can inform them, give them the package, say these are the laws you're breaking by enforcing this Vax passport, right? There's a nice handout that you can give them that breaks down all the subsections of certain laws and our rights as Canadians, that we don't have to disclose our medical status. That is first and foremost. So once these businesses have received that package, follow up with them, say, have you read through it? Do you understand it? Do you need more help? If they continue to enforce the Vax Pass, then boycott them. You've given them their chance, you've helped them. If they still don't get it, we shouldn't be supporting them. There are several businesses already in our groups that are willing to stand up for our rights and allow us to enter their buildings without disclosing private information. So that's another thing we need to do is the more businesses that don't comply, the more we can stand up against this and reject the mandates. Apparently, I think I heard the UK and a couple of other countries have already backed off because there's so much pushback. So if we can do that here, that would be obviously a bonus, right? Find me a study that supports masks that either slow or stop the spread of a virus. You can't do it. So why are you wearing it? Think about what you're doing and think about what that symbolizes. If you can't find one scientific article, and it has to be a randomized control study because that's the only study that's worth anything that holds up in court or in a scientific debate. If you don't know what that is, look up the meaning of randomized controlled trial and why it's so important. Okay, and then you got to find a study that supports the fact that wearing a mask can stop this virus. If you can't do that, why are you listening to these clowns on TV when you have hundreds of thousands of doctors and scientists speaking out against it? They're being censored. Another thing is, I made a post yesterday. Please stop adding me to groups. Please stop sending me videos of corruption. We all know what's going on. We have enough evidence and material to lock these guys up for decades. So I don't need to see that anymore. I want to see people taking actions, like our good friends at Rise Up Durham and hundreds of other groups. Put up videos of you walking into a store or sending an email to your MP or your police department. Like, let's start holding each other accountable. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start sending up videos of simple things of sending emails or walking into a store without a mask. Like, we need to do this. We all need to do it. You just got to stop being afraid and get people together. If you're afraid of doing it on your own, get some people together and go to a store and hand out some information, the bylaw, the information packs that are being sent out by groups like Stand Up Canada and Stand for Thee and Rise Up Durham. They all have the laws printed out, Police on Guard. There's so many people that are helping us, giving us templates, and we can't even cut and paste and send an email. We'd rather just debate on social media, which is doing absolutely nothing. So that's my challenge to everybody. Stop sending me information. I know enough about what's happening. We all know what's happening. So let's start doing something about it, because if we don't, I think these next few months, it's going to be pretty dramatic, and it's really going to make things difficult this winter. And another thing, Doug Ford yesterday, if you haven't heard his speech about implementing the Vax Pass, he says it's only going to be in effect until we absolutely need it and not a day longer. Where have you heard this 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 times? It's just 2 weeks. Oh, it's just going to be this. Oh, it's just going to be 2 shots. Everything they've said, they've moved the goalpost. They hook you, they fool you, they change their little tune, and you just keep falling for the same lie. Like, how many times can you fall for this BS? Like, think about how many times they've changed the goalposts in these 2 years. It's incredible. Like, think about just 2 weeks, just a couple of months. Just put on your mask. Just get a vaccine. Just get a double vax. Oh, now you need a booster. Now it's just the Vax Pass. Like, man, if you can't see this right now, you don't know your history, and you're obviously not doing enough research. So take a couple hours out of your day and just reach out to me or somebody like me that knows what's going on to give you the information, to connect you with these doctors and scientists that are working front lines and in the COVID units that are speaking out. Because you're not going to see that on your mainstream media. They're suppressing all this information. So I urge you to 2 hours of your day, just one day, and then your life will change. And you may just, have the courage to come out and fight for your freedom or your children's freedom, because the future's not looking so good right now. But thankfully, for everybody on my feed that is fighting and understands what's happening, I watch you like every day. The days that I can't participate, I am like face to the screen, just in awe of everybody standing up and doing something. So I appreciate you more than you know, and I'm there as much as I can be. So looking forward to doing more together. Speaking of appreciation, Officer Galvezi, incredible. This woman as small and tiny and afraid as she was, got up in front of about 12,000 people at Queen's Park and stood up against all this nonsense. She stood up against the chief, who has not responded to any of our open letters, including mine and several others, not even to Officer Galvazi's own letter. She's facing possible charges for speaking out because she's active duty. She is obviously overcome the fear of her colleagues speaking against her, which, if her colleagues don't know what's going on, I urge you as well to do some research. And thank you to all the officers that are upholding the law. However, I also encourage you to come forward just as Officer Galvazi did. It's time. The time is now. They're coming after the children, and they basically called war. So please stand with us. It's going to get more difficult, and we need our military and law enforcement, our first responders, the firefighters that stood at Queen's Park. Thank you for doing that as well. I know you're watching my channel, especially the law enforcement. It's no secret that anyone in this movement that is speaking out is being tracked. So officers that are watching my page in this video right now, you've got a lot of soul searching to do. And there will come a day where we're going to have to stand and fight, because if we don't, we're going to lose everything. And if you don't understand what that means, this Vax Pass is a good little indication of what's to come. So thank you again, Officer Galvazi. If anyone can forward this portion of the video to her. I didn't get a chance to shake your hand, but I am like in awe of what you did. That was very brave, and you have millions of Canadians behind you. Right? And we also can't wait for the courts, because we know how long ago the lawsuit was filed, and we've seen how much damage has been done and how much more damage will be done in this short amount of time. So even our lawyers have said on video not to wait for the courts, that we need to stand up and do some important actions and not comply. So please, officers, military, first responders, stand with us. We're here to help, and you have the backing of the majority of the country. Just remember that.